Hi everyone. So today we are starting our current affairs session. So here we are dealing with the most important current affair topics that will be helpful for you in your upcoming prelims 2021. So in this series, you'll see about the important species that was there in the news for the past 1 year. We'll see those important species. We'll focus on to what all are its peculiar characteristics. If it has any sort of such characteristic, we'll look on to it. We look on to its conservation status, like if it is included in the IUCN Red List, what is its categorization, then in WPA in which schedule it belongs to, like in CITES in which appendix it belongs to. In such a manner, we will look upon the conservation status. If it is related with some protected areas, we will also see where this particular species is inhabited or where it is located. And with regard to the recent discoveries with regard to important species, we will see from where this particular species was discovered recently. So such are the important areas or core areas from where there are chances that UPSC can frame questions. So such questions have been asked in the previous years also. Like recently this particular species was there in news, from where it has been discovered. Such questions were asked. So you need to focus upon such models of questions. Okay, you can refer the previous year questions. You will find that certain patterns are there with regard to important species being framed as questions. So identify those patterns and stress onto those particular areas from where there are maximum probabilities for asking questions. Now let's move on to the important species. Okay, we are discussing about the important species that was there in the news. So the first one is Senna spectabilis. Okay, Senna spectabilis. So this particular species, keep in mind, it is an invasive plant species, or it is an invasive plant or invasive tree. Okay, this particular Senna spectabilis, earlier it was planted like in the district of Wayanad in Kerala as a avenue tree. Okay, avenue tree in the sense it was planted along the pavements, or it was planted along the roadsides for getting shelter, or for the getting advantages of aesthetic beauty. For in such manner, this particular tree, that is Senna spectabilis, was planted in the pavements and roadsides. But now this particular tree, it has turned out to be invasive in nature, and it has rampantly spread out in the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. It has like invaded to more than 50 square kilometers of the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, and thus recently the Kerala Forest Department has planned to adopt certain steps to arrest the growth of such invasive plant and tree species, especially this Senna spectabilis, since it is causing a major threat to the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, okay, of which the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary is a part of. Now, with regard to this particular Senna spectabilis, keep in mind it is an invasive plant. It is now causing a major threat to the areas of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve because of its quick growth and its scourging character. Okay, which means that if we want to remove it entirely from a region, we need to uproot it as a whole. Okay, we need to uproot it from the ground, and cutting down near to the surface of the ground will not restrict its growth. It will again regrow from there. So in order to remove, or in order to arrest its growth completely, we need to uproot it from the ground level itself. So because of this character, it is rampantly growing, or it is spreading at a very fast rate in the wildlife sanctuary. Okay, the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary and in the adjacent areas of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. And now it has seen that this particular plant, it has started to invade the areas which is adjacent to the Bandipur and Nagahol tiger reserves in Karnataka, as well as in the Mudumalai tiger reserve in Tamil Nadu. Okay, it has also started to invade the nearby areas of these protected areas as well. So it has caused a major concern. Now, another major concern related with this particular Senna spectabilis is that the adult trees or the mature trees can grow up to a height of 15 to 20 meters in a very short period of time, and every year it can produce hundreds to thousands of seeds, which again is creating probability for new trees to grow. Okay, so this rampant growth has caused a major concern, and also this particular tree, it has the property of producing allelochemicals. Okay, the property of producing allelochemicals, which means this plant it can produce certain biochemicals which can hamper or which can restrict the growth and reproduction and the photosynthetic capacity and related aspects of other plants. So such biochemicals are known as allelochemicals, which can affect the growth and reproduction of other plants. So this Senna spectabilis has got this production of allelochemicals. It produces allelochemicals which will arrest the growth of nearby native plants or native trees. Okay, so what happens is that when the native trees are being destroyed, or when its growth is being hindered by this particular invasive plant, it is again indirectly causing, or it is affecting the wildlife population or the animals, especially the herbivores, which is depending upon the native plants for their food. Okay, this particular plant, it is the animals or the herbivores, it is not feeding on the leaf of this particular tree because it is not palatable for them. So they will not feed on the leaves of the Senna spectabilis, but since it is producing allelochemicals which hampers the growth of invasive plants, again it is having an effect on the wildlife population, especially the herbivores, which is feeding on the native plants. Okay, so keep these things in mind with regard to Senna spectabilis. Main thing is that it is a invasive plant and it produces allelochemicals which hampers the growth of native plants, and mainly it was there in the news because of its rampant growth. More than 50 square kilometers of Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary has been invaded by this particular plant, and now it is being invading, or it has started to invade the nearby or the neighboring protected areas as well. Okay, so that's why this was there in news.